This hip, and with me tonight is Mott, as well as Trent Mott Pax from Standard Deviants, bringing you stats throughout the match. Mott, game number 2 of the day out of 4. Sneaky Nyx Assassins versus compLexity. Good last game for compLexity. How do you feel about Sneaky Nyx Assassins' chances heading into this one?
I think this is probably going to be our closest game of the day. Although Snot is without IX Mike, who is apparently away, who's obviously really just their emotional backstop when it comes to that team. And just a great player and somebody that's an overall feed. I had the pleasure and luxury of rooming with IX Mike actually at the International. And just how much stuff he would just try to find out about different teams is ridiculous. He would literally go around and every day try to figure out who was disbanding. He would feed all of the drama. So,
Really? He's a fiend.
I mean, does that really surprise you, though?
Not really. Everyone in Dota's a fiend. I'm a fiend, dude.
So, yeah, I mean, but without him, it's a bit different. They don't have their offlaner, Whitebeard, and MJW, who's bananas in your face, is standing in. We originally thought it was Mason, obviously, because Mason goes by a similar name, but no such luck. They'll pick up the Death Prophet first, but compLexity coming off of a very solid win. And I'm excited to see because they're going for a completely different draft than we saw in the first game. And that just kind of shows you that I think that they're, again, a team that has a lot of, they've got a lot of heroes they can play, a lot of strats they can deal with. And again, you talked about Swindle Melons in the last game. He was a fantastic player playing for that compLexity squad.
Yeah, he had a couple deaths here and there, but I'm not really sure that you can really blame those on him, but he won his lane really hard, enabled a really good early game for them. And well, it's Viper this time around for compLexity as well as the Tidehunter, and they have banned out the Lycan this time with Sneaky Nyx Assassins on the Dire side, and they picked themselves up a Death Prophet. TC is going to be drafting for Sna, and I think you can basically consider TC as a part of this team now, even though officially I believe he is still on Liquid. He's been playing with them for quite some time. So really only 2 stand-ins here for the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. Bananas in your face and Whitebeard. But Whitebeard did used to play for this team as well, so pretty comfortable lineup for them despite what looks like quite a few stand-ins. Ush, of course, one of the core mainstays, going to be with Fluff and Stuff as well. So
yeah,
they've grabbed themselves the Brewmaster and the Death Prophet, so they're going to be looking to fight pretty early and fight often on the back of those big ultimates. So we'll see if they're able to get it done this time around after they ban out the Void as well as the Doom.
Yeah, the Death Prophet is such a strong pickup in this meta that he will get a lot of farm regardless of what lane he's against in the mid lane. So it's just a smart pickup here. You mentioned, obviously, Whitebeard standing in. He's somebody that's very familiar. He received a lot of the flack when Sneaky Nyx Assassins played poorly in, multiple different tournaments, last year. But he's also a very strong player, and he gets a lot of flack that I think is undeserved. Something else that's important to know is that for a while, Waitsu was playing for the Sneaky Nyx Assassins. I'm not sure if he's been with them recently or if they've just kind of, parted ways. I have to actually check rosters and see what's been the roster since then. It looks like he has been playing a lot of the recent games, so it looks like he's just away today and that they'll be using MJW or Bananas in Your Face as the stand-in. So not the full Snarl lineup, whereas you have the full Cole lineup on the other side of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, I think we should still see a pretty solid game out of Snarl. This is a pretty big weekend for them, not just in the Dota 2 Canada Cup. They are playing all 3 of their group stages today, and, well, tomorrow they're going to be in ESL 1, and that's going to be against the Team Gerg. I have some personal interest there, so I just gotta throw that one out there. But of course,
good thing you're not casting that, or else
that would
cast your bias.
That would be some biased casting, and they'd have to deal with it. But
can I explain Gerg for those of them that don't know?
Yes.
Okay, so for anyone that's unfamiliar, Gerg is the spawn. Obviously, what is hip is Greg. So someone made a Twitter account called Gerd Glard, which is what is shit. And it became a term of endearment that we used over the International. Specifically, it was pretty much Korok and Fog, just making sure that they called you that at any time throughout the week. So Gerg squad now forming up and looking to take on ESL 1 by storm. So we'll hope to see how they do up against teams like Sna, obviously. But back to the draft. Sneaky Nyx Assassins, Mirana, one of their most picked heroes. No surprise there. Obviously, Fluff, one of the first innovators when it comes to support Mirana. compLexity pick up the Scarith Mage and a Sand King, and a very solid draft. Again, a lot of early game presence from both squads. A lot of lockdown and a lot of burst damage from compLexity especially. So
Yeah, we've got pretty much the battle of the stand-ins here, or God, not stand-ins. Battle of the team fights here. I don't know why I said stand-ins.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you
Well,
know, your brain just doesn't work, and
I know.
yeah. But
I know
battle
how
of the
that
team
feels.
fights here, and you know, we've got this Death Prophet team fight with Brewmaster sort of pushing out space, and the purpose of their team fight is just to push away heroes from the towers to be able to just kill those. And complexity, they've just got some man fight. You know, they have Tidehunter, Sand King, Viper, of course, and Skywrath Mage. So big fan of both these lineups thus far, and I think we're gonna have a pretty action-packed one on our hands.
Yeah, this is for complexity gaming, they have so much early game potential with a Viper, Scarith Mage, and a Tidehunter when he gets level 6. The problem is Sand King getting enough money for a Blink Dagger and being involved early on in the game. So for Sneaky Nyx Assassins, it's their job to either ward the jungle or make sure that the Sand King is not he's not a problem, he's not a threat. And Sneaky Nyx Assassins are no stranger to playing with a Sand King or against them. They played against a lot of Navi US's squad, where Fogged is considered one of the best Sand Kings, I think, in North America. They can play it well for themselves. I believe both Fluff and Whitebeard have played it in the past. They'll go for the Wraith King here, and again, just a manly lineup coming out, a lot of tanky cores, which is really beneficial when you're going against that heavy team fight that is complexity gaming. So for the draft right now, if you look at it, it's probably going to be that Mirana, maybe support, more than likely, just because it is Fluff and stuff on their team. They have the Wraith King maybe to also be another support, and then pick another core, or you have your Wraith King as your core. That's the thing about this draft too, is it's very open-ended. You don't know really where everyone's going at this point, and you know it's a lot of different heroes to choose from. So,
and that versatility should help them a bit, maybe in setting up these lanes. I mean, you can't discount the capability of an aggro try here for Sna. Yeah. Certainly a possibility at this point with a mid DP and Brewmaster sitting in the safe lane solo. But complexity with the Skywrath Mage, of course, might be a bit difficult, possibly also a Viper in that lane as well. So that could be a pretty ugly aggro try, or safe lane try for them to go up against. And, well, we'll have to see how complexity round out their lineup here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure at this point. They need a core, I think, in lane. They'll probably send Viper mid. You can send Viper safe lane, though, and you'll be just fine. But Viper mid seems like it's okay against Death Prophet because you have Corrosive Skin, which gives you the magic resistance against a Crypt Swarm, which still, you'll take a lot of damage, but...
Yeah, but Death Prophet takes a lot as well because, you know, the Corrosive Skin's really annoying, and then if you get, like, 1 or 2 auto attacks, it can be pretty annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think I think you can't... For complexity... You have to be worried because if Sneaky Nyx Assassins runs an aggro tri lane, you have a Sand King who his level 1 stud is not that great. Although you do have burst from Skywrath and whatever hero they pick up here, I'd still be kind of concerned as to a lot of the damage coming out early on in this game. So
yeah, and that's sort of the crux of this lane would definitely be that Sand King in the early levels is just, you know, the range of that stun is like 3 inches, so does not go very far. But if they can make it through the early game against an aggro try, I think they might be in okay position. But already Sneaky Nyx Assassins, if they take, you know, Wraith King Mirana +1 down there, that can be very dangerous. Wraith King's stun is very, very, very strong and can easily set up a good arrow for that Mirana. So we'll see how complexity choose to continue.
I think for right now, they've got to pick a really good core that either they need to make a decision, will they go late? They pick something like, you know, maybe a Spectre here in this situation, or something that can be a bit more aggressive early on in the game. A lot of the heroes that they might want to grab have already been banned out. This is what obviously would have been the best pickup for them in this situation, maybe even a Doom as well. And the Jakiro ban as well. I think Sneaky Nyx Assassins banning that is really big, and they'll go for the Ember Spirit. So that gives them not only some early game presence with an Ember Spirit, with obviously your Siri Chains, your Flame Guard, but it gives them a later stage potential as well when you have your Battle Furies coming up online for complexity, and a hero that we've not seen too much of, but should be okay nonetheless. And also Flame Guard's pretty good against the Death Prophet. So you can, now the question is, do you send Ember Spirit mid or do you send the Viper mid? Which do you feel has a more favorable matchup in this situation?
I think Ember's a little delicate. I mean, you do obviously have the Flame Guard, but if he catches like 1 or 2 Crypt Swarms, it can be pretty ugly. That being said, Trilane Ember is not great.
No.
I mean, you do have good, decent setup, I guess, for Sand King, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. I'll be interested to see how they land this one. It looks like it is going to be the Viper in the mid lane, and solo safe laning, or not solo, safe laning. Ember Spirit, Immune Meter picks that one up, and Venomancer to clean this one out for Sna, and this is a pretty dangerous lineup if they bring this to the aggro.
Yeah, and that's not the only thing. It's just they want more pushing presence. Like they'll probably get Vale or Gale. They'll probably just get a couple points in poison sync. But the plague wars are the most important part of this aspect because when you have a Death Prophet ultimate running and you have a couple of plague wards underneath their tower, how are you supposed to defend that? How are you supposed to really fight into that? On top of that, TC is probably going to have a really early Blink Dagger, and we saw how well Swindle Mullins can play the Brewmaster. I mean, TC is a damn good carry. He got a lot of flack last year, but again, this is TC we're talking about. He's one of the heroes of TI3 when it came to that game between them and LGD. So I think this is a dangerous lineup from both squads. It really comes down to I think securing Riser's farm and getting him a Blink Dagger, and we don't often see a support shoulder the load as much, but. And it actually looks like Moon Meander is going to be, for the time being, well, he's rotated with Swindle Melon, so it looks like we're not sure who's going mid just yet, but with some 4-man aggression coming out, they want to make sure that there's no wards in the enemy jungle, which TC, you can see the support Wraith King coming out from Whitebeard as well, and Fluff and stuff are going to head down there. They're going to try to get some wards out, but they've already a bit late to the lane, so compLexity should be able to just contest this and make sure there's no jungle camp supported here for the Sand King.
Yeah, an interesting setup here by Sneak Nick Assassins, maybe a little bit different than what we'd expect. It's actually going to be TC in the tri-lane and Bananas in your face in the Venomancer in the top lane. But some introductions here. We've got Venomancer. It's going to be Bananas in your face on the solo safe lane. Ush is going to be in the mid lane on the Death Prophet. Down bottom, we've got Fluff and stuff on the Mirana. You mentioned that during the draft. TC on the Brewmaster, and Whitebeard going to be picking up the Wraith King.
Yeah, so Sneaky Nick's Assassins, you have a lot of burst damage coming out in this tri lane, so you have to be very careful for compLexity. Speaking of their lineup, it's Riser on the Sand King. You'll have Z-Freak, he'll be on the Scarith Mage. Swindle Melons will be on the Viper with 8 tangos, 4 GG branches, and a Ring of Protection. Looks like he will be going for that mech early on, potentially. Moonbanner is going to be the mid lane on the Ember Spirit, and off lane it is the Tidehunter played by Limp. So, again, this could go either way, but I am worried, I think, for compLexity, because, again, if you get some levels on this Venomancer, you get some levels of this Death Prophet, there's no way you're going to stop any sort of aggression on your tower. There's just too many Plague Wards to deal with. It's Exorcism, obviously, and the big thing is this bottom lane as well. If TC gets even a modicum of farm, it's a Blink Dagger early on, and Riser wants to get one of his own, and that's tough to do when you're just sitting in lane making sure your Viper doesn't die, so...
Yeah, and, I think if compLexity lose this bottom lane at all, this game's going to be pretty tough for them to deal with the pressure coming out of the Nyx Assassins. And they're going to initiate on Swindlemons immediately. The arrow's going to come in. It's going to slam on Riser instead. And, well, I think they'll probably take that kill if they can get it. One more right click is going to do it. There's the first blood for Fluff and stuff. Is he going to go down? Yes, they trade, but now they might get Swindlemons. Not enough mana for another Wraithfire Blast for Whitebeard, and now he's on the run. Concussive Shot coming out as well. Another Arcane Bolt. He's dead. Goes down. Arrow coming in. Going to hit on the creep. How unfortunate for Fluff and stuff. And, well, not a great start for the Nyx Assassins in this bottom lane.
That's the problem going against a Scarith Mage when you have a hero like a Wraith King, which has really no int pool, and he can only spam out one Wraithfire Blast. You get a kill with the Wraithfire Blast, yes, but you lose 2 heroes in the process. Meanwhile, they run into Riser. They're going to go ahead and use that Wraithfire Blast, but Arrow will sell. It'll connect as well. Do they have enough damage? He's got no Burrow Strike. He might try to deny himself here, but here comes TC. Gets the kill. This is a bloodbath in this bottom lane already, and TC getting involved in a lot of these is a big deal. Same for Swindle Melons, however.
Yeah, and in the mid lane, both people just really battering each other back and forth. Low HP for both. Moon Meander gonna have to be very careful here, and he's not getting Flame Guards, so these Crypt Swarms could just absolutely wreck him. And Ush, look at him going to work. He almost got a solo kill.
Yeah, one more right click and he's dead. And you mentioned no Flame Guard, but maybe just an early point in Sleight of Fist. You could obviously get that later. I'm not sure if that's the wisest decision, but already the wrap around here, they're going to find him. Wraithfire Blast. Moon is going to get caught out. Great rotation. I don't even think they use a smoke for that. They just walk to the mid lane and get the kill, which leaves TC down bottom, but they're not making a go on him.
Yeah,
really great stuff.
Ush ate a bunch of tower hits, almost died, 9 HP, but he's going to have himself a full bottle, a haste rune, and another full bottle, so he's going to heal right back up, and that's a pretty huge advantage for him now in this mid lane, as he does have a level on Moon Meander.
Look at where Z-Freak is headed. He's headed top, so they've kind of just said, listen, the defensive tri line's not really working out. And MJW, Bananas in your face, not the hardest hero to gank. It's a Venomancer. He's a bit squishy. He
also has the Plague Wards, so it's pretty easy for him to figure out what's going on. With Smoke, obviously, that's not the case, but that's off now. And I think this is a pretty tough gank. You know, they don't have The only skill they have is concussive shot, only level 3 for the Skywrath. But he's a little bit further out than he wants to be, and, well, looks like he is going to fall here. Pops the stick. Oh, Salve, maybe not. Arcane Bolt. He's dead.
Yeah, this is just great rotation from Z-Freak. But now you have to capitalize on this if you're Whitebeard and the rest of the Nyx Assassins.
Yeah,
like,
look
at how far out Viper is right now. Fluff is going to maybe look for an arrow, but they have no setup here, and
only level 2 for Fluff, and
they
do need to get a kill. There is the arrow. Swindlemelon's catching the Wraithfire Blast as well, but do they have enough damage? She's going to try to block him in. Has enough tangos to eat his way out, and now, ooh, right-click on Fluff there could have been pretty ugly, but he is still alive. Ush in the mid lane, still going to work on Moon Meander, and this lack of Flame Guard is not working out too well so far, at least.
Yeah, Ush in trouble. Arcane Bolt.
He's going to look for a Crypt Swarm. He wants to kill Moon if he's going to go down. Nope, not going to get him in.
Z-Freak doesn't have that much mana left. He's got one Arcane Bolt. That's just going to try to man up against him.
Crypt Swarm!
Ush, right click. No, he missed!
Oh boy, he gets him anyway.
Gets the kill anyways. Okay.
Close.
Lane.
Close. And Whitebeard taking some right clicks, but does have Wraithfire Blast up. And Swindlemelon's going to start to try to go to work here, though. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage.
He also has level 1 Corrosive Skin, I believe, so even that 10% magic resistance is enough to keep him
big deal.
Alive and actually kicking, so...
Yeah, and they're going to move in on Whitebeard, who's silenced up. He's not going to get the Wraithfire Blast off. Is going to go down. TC drops the clap, and without the Wraithfire Blast, this is a very, very weak tri-lane, but they are still going to get a trade kill on Riser. TC looking like he is most likely going to fall as well. They're going to try to get both kills here, and, well, it looks like they might get it. Really surprised they don't go for the kill on Fluff there. I guess they know there's a rotation coming back in from Whitebeard, but...
They could have gone for that, I think.
They could have gone for that, yeah.
Swindle had plenty of HP. I think they were just concerned about him dying, but they had no Arcane Bolt, so chasing him, they might have taken too much time, and that rotation from Whitebeard, it would have been close, I think. But Swindlemelon's being involved in 3 or 4 of the kills has gotten him already 1,200 gold, so an early mech should not be an issue for him. And conversely, TC is sitting at 800. He's actually doing okay in last hits, but he's died once now, so kind of an issue. So the aggressive nature of Nyx Assassins, they've been kind of shutting down some of these heroes. I think the most important thing is that Riser's not getting much out of this lane. He's got boots first and 300 gold. Eventually, if he's stacking up the jungle, he can maybe get some gold, but there's no camp. They obviously warded the Magic Bush, so this camp's not stackable. And there's actually no camps that are stacked at all for Riser early on in this game. However, in the mid lane, Moon Meander is sitting at 25 last hits now, so he's doing well. He's actually ahead of a Death Prophet, which is surprising. That usually doesn't happen, but...
Yeah, he is getting good CS. He just has to play very, very, very carefully because these Crypt Swarms take out like a quarter of his HP. He has put a Spirit in the back here, ready to evacuate just in case anything bad happens.
This Observer Ward's actually done a lot of work for compLexity's team. It's spotted them out more than once for Fluff, and obviously Whitebeard. Z-Freak is sitting very far back. Whitebeard spots him out, I believe. And there's the Ancient Seal. Concussive shot. We'll see if they can continue on. There's rotation coming through. This is a problem. They're going to run right into Riser. And Fluff is going to try to leap away. He will not make it out currently.
Swindlemelons is here. And, Fluff gets off the arrow and does not connect. And Whitebeard...
I think you're dead, dude.
He is making a trip to being dead. That's where he's going.
Yep.
Does not make it out of that one. Bananas in your face. Almost 30 CS. Also has died. And... just a pretty aggressive game from both teams, sort of as we expected. And Moon pops an invis. Gonna try to get a positional advantage on Ush here. Oh, he's triple stacking. He really wants to kill. Maybe is gonna get it. Gonna be really close. Has Sleight of Fist and a good play by Moon. If not extremely aggressive, is gonna get him a kill there in the mid lane. Nice job using that invis. Wow, Riser. Holy crap, he just dodged 2 stuns and Fluff is dead. There's the split by TC, but unfortunately, without Fluff, do they have enough? There's the Wraithfire Blast. I hope they can kill Swindlemelons here. If not, they're going to be in a really bad position. Up in the air, it's the Sand King. Down he goes finally, but Whitebeard's died as well. And, well, what's going to be the cost of this? TC's back, and it does not look like he's making it out of this one. And really, really hectic bottom lane here. I think, in the end, definitely favoring compLexity. Swindlemelons does go down, though, in that engagement for the first time.
But how much is Swindlemelons worth? Is he worth 3 deaths on your squad? Is he worth TC delaying his Blink Dagger even more? That's the real question. So, I mean, you have to take the good with the bad. Yes, you get Swindle on too. It was a big bounty, but at the same time, it's I don't think worth it. Again, this Observer War doing so much work coming out for a Complexity squad. It's just a place where you probably don't expect it if you're on the next Assassins, and so they get caught out. Moon gets more room to farm mid. He gets the kill like he talked about. He's starting to do well. Us is still leading the way in CS, but not by that much. For MJW top lane, he's got the Arcanes already, so the thing is, for a safe lane Venomancer, the reason you pick this is to be able to go mech eventually, but
Yeah,
he decided to go for Arcanes first, so we'll see how long that takes him before he can get to the mech and actually start being useful. Also, great rotation coming up from him to use that Ravage and grab a couple of kills there.
Yeah, and all in comes the arrow, and Moon is going to just barely dodge that one. Ush needs to look for an opportunity here, I think, to try to take down this tower. Does have a double damage. Sleight of Fist by Moon to also check this little area over here. And, well, it looks like things have stabilized for the moment, but I think Nyx Assassins need to start being a bit more aggressive on the towers here. They would really like the Blink Dagger for TC to be done, and it's actually very close. And this bottom lane has been hectic, but, I mean, still some decent farm here for both cores. Mech almost done, Blink Dagger almost done, and Meander, oh boy. Oh, he's still alive for the moment. Bottling up, trying to make it back. Do not think he's going to make it out of this one. Sleight of Fist and Arcane Bolt both coming in. But Bananas in Your Face is here. Does he have enough damage to kill Z-Freak? I don't think so. Double TP out for Complexity. And unfortunately, Nyx don't get anything out of that little
really smart dive, actually, from Moon. And just, they're punishing us now. And the fact that also he doesn't have a silence. The silence could maybe have saved his life there, but maybe not. There's just too much damage to deal with, obviously, from Moon. And that's just the early game ganking potential of an Ember Spirit, who... No Flame Guard. He just goes straight for the Sleight of Fist max, which is... wow, that is surprising.
He does have a Bracer for some HP, but, I mean, it's definitely worked out for him. He did die that one time, but beyond that, I think this build has been pretty okay for him, and pretty soon he's going to be outputting quite a bit of damage, and big smoke here for the Nyx Assassins.
They're warding the jungle. They're really just intent on making sure... They're really intent on just making sure that, again, Riser doesn't get farmed, but he's only 1,000 gold away from the Blink Dagger, and he's already level 6, but you see he went for level 3 Sandstorm, so he realizes he's not going to have his Blink, and he's not going to be fighting by the time that he has his Blink, so, or not until he has his Blink anyway, so he'll just continue to farm with the Sandstorm. This is smart. You mentioned TC almost has his Blink Dagger. It's not the 7-minute Blink we saw out of Swindle in the last game, so that's important to note. And I think given how things have turned out right now for Complexity, they're in a good position. Again, that could change very quickly as soon as you pop an Exorcism and put some wards down under a tower. And with, obviously, the Venomancer being mid currently and Ush as well, maybe this is their go time here. I don't know. And with... Actually, Ravage does come back up online now, so this is a very topsy-turvy moment of the game, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, Ush is still not level 11, so does not have that level 2 Exorcism to really quickly push down the towers, but, you know, in combination with this Venomancer, who just now is starting to build up that mechanism, maybe they can get something done. I mean, they're definitely interested in engaging here with TC running over with the Blink Dagger. Fluff and stuff. Leap is on cooldown. I think he was down in this area. And
he warded and then leaped away, yeah.
Yeah, he is out of here. So he's going to be looking to wrap back around, and we'll see what the Nyx Assassins want to do here. I think this is a pretty crucial fight for them. They would like a boost. Taking a quick look at Golden XP, really hefty XP advantage for Complexity with that aggressive trialing not working out too well for the Nyx Assassins.
Look at the hero level chart, and you can see where the levels are just dropping off. The dual support coming out for the Nyx Assassins, both level 4, whereas your Sand King 6, which again, he doesn't have epi yet, but the Mystic Flare we already saw work out in the mid lane, getting a kill on us, or at least helping getting a kill, so...
And we got some pause time trivia here by Trent. Who is TC's most played hero over his career in Dota 2?
There's a couple heroes that I can think of off the top of my head, but it's become a bit more...
I would say like Luna, maybe? Luna,
I'd
Weaver,
say...
or...
Yeah, maybe something that hard. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Viper a lot.
There was this. We had the same question like last year in the ADL or something. I don't think it's Razor. I don't think it's right, because there was this period of time where Razor was just like nobody ever touched that hero. It has to be a hero that's been. I think Luna might be the best bet.
Luna. Luna is probably my answer.
Or Tiny. I don't know.
I don't think it's Tiny. I think he plays.
Or he played Lone Druid for a period of time too as well.
I'm locking in Luna as my final answer.
Final answer is Luna. Hold on, give me a second here. I'm trying to. Maybe Lifestealer. No.
Son of a bitch. You're cheating, aren't you?
No, I mean. Not
Actually,
really.
we can hear your keyboard clicks, Mott. Remember?
But like, how does that tell you anything? Like, that gives you nothing.
Oh God.
We're gonna be waiting a while
We're
then.
gonna be waiting a while. You might not want to wait that long. It's gonna be quite a while. There's a 5-minute delay on both stream and Dota TV today.
All right,
All
Artur's
day.
flaming me. Why is everyone flaming me today? You guys got
Can you
issues.
just ignore everyone? You
I
know?
am, but like, I don't know. He's got problems.
Artur, I mean, we knew that. It's not news.
Oh man.
But
He's a WEC lane winner though, to be fair.
still paused here, and Ush does occasionally have some computer issues. Except by occasionally, I mean he was like out of commission for a while because his computer was broke. So
Really?
yeah, his power supply was blown up.
Oh, that's you can't make that mistake.
And well, we'll see.
It's like a 500 like ampere watt or whatever it is power supply and like
Ampere
running.
watt?
Like, I don't know which one it is, dude. Get off me! I'm not a computer genius. I actually just upgraded my own power supply to 850, so I won't have an issue hopefully for some time. It's been running nicely.
Flame is real. Moons just went in, dude. Oh boy. Well,
I just saw that. That's nice. All right, let's see stats. I'm gonna find this out. I'm cheating.
dude, no, don't cheat.
All right, I'm not.
Your answer. What's your answer? Lock it in right now. Right now. You're cheating, Mott.
I'm gonna go with Lone Druid,
All
but
right,
I don't think
your
that's
answer
right.
Sucks.
Whatever, dude. It's either that or I think Luna probably.
I'm gonna go with Luna. Luna's I'm in.
You
Can't
committed to
abandon
that
it.
one,
Yeah,
so.
I can't abandon it now. Arteezy's standing Sna. No, Arteezy is not standing in for Sna.
Guys, I guess this is a good time to remind you that if you really would like, of course, to hear our voices in game and to have complete and total map control, if you're like, hey, man, this Greg guy has camera control, could be
man,
better.
I haven't missed.
Which,
I don't think I've missed.
to be fair, no, it's good. It's good. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. The ticket is $5.99 at the Dota store. They've got Bearsky the Courier, and you should have that overlay, right, to show. Just show Bearsky real quick.
I can pop up the.
Yeah, just throw Bearsky up there and just show
over in the
how
corner.
cute that Courier is,
Look
which
how
is, by the
adorable
way,
he
just
is.
the sickest thing.
Yeah. Well, Swindlemelon's pointing out our slightly increased delay, and this is scheduled for today, guys. Sna versus Union Gaming coming up next, and after that it's gonna be Sna versus K-Stars, South American Rejects. And tomorrow we've got compLexity going up against K-Stars, and K-Stars versus Union. Top 5 versus Not Today. Not Today versus Shadows of the Past, and Not Today versus Isris. Very packed weekend. 9 games for the Dota 2 Canada Cup. And, well, we just found out Ush's power went out, but is coming back now, so should be back underway shortly here.
It's a pretty young guy, so hopefully he's not freaking out too much. I think he's like 18.
He is indeed. I think
Okay.
18 or 19.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, it's
So
pretty
many
back and forth game thus far. I mean, battling in this bottom tri lane, mid lane has been back and forth as well. So really, the only stable lane has sort of been this top lane, and Venomancer building towards that mechanism. We'll see if the Nyx Assassins can push past compLexity's spam here. I mean, they've got Ember Spirit, Arcane Bolt, Viper's going to be putting out quite a bit of damage in these fights, and we'll see.
I think a big thing for compLexity now is, and it's something that a lot of people often mention, is making sure you can get your agent seal off on a target that's useful. And TC is probably the most useful target at this point. Yeah. You could argue that Exorcism is very important to stop, but there's a good chance that I'm just going to get that off regardless. So Ancient Seal on TC, I mean, it's a pretty long animation. If you get jumped on, even if you get Thunderclept, you have to turn around. You've got to be able to use that Ancient Seal before he can get his ultimate off. Yeah, again, they don't know that he has the Blink Dagger, though, so that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm. And something we always mention when, there is a Skywrath in the game is you can shift Q Ancient Seal. So when he jumps in, he gets instantly silenced, and that makes it pretty difficult. So you have to be very careful with your engagements from TC, and if you see him get silenced a couple times and stop his ulti, again, another, sort of prime target game for a BKB, especially with the Tidehunter as well. So we'll see if he does go that route or what kind of build we get out of TC. 10 minutes, the Blink Dagger is done, so
I think an axe should be enough this game. And I mean, even with the max Ancient Seal, which is, to be fair, 6 seconds, I don't know if they have enough damage to burst him down.
And it is Luna. Next up, Lifestealer and Lone Druid. So you did pretty good, Mott, but you know.
Oh, whatever. I'm salty.
Hashtag wrecked.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of the carries are gonna be picking Luna. Like that it has to be.
He like just always play Luna. I just remember they used to pick Luna even when people thought Luna was like turning bad again.
And they thought it didn't work with their lineup. Yeah, that was a lot of the problem last year, I think.
Maybe it didn't work.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Pressure
attack.
back in the mid lane as we are back underway here.
Haste in everything but judgment.
Yeah, that could have been a 5-minute pause, honestly. I don't know.
That was a 5-minute pause, indeed.
So, Ush, some Union Gaming strats, maybe?
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. I'm making a joke, obviously.
Exorcism up in the mid lane, and they're going to be moving on in. There's the spam from Moon. Good positioning for him up on the high ground.
They can't defend this. This is what I was.
He can spam here, but not enough damage to make this relevant. Oh, fluff! Off the mark with the arrow. Mind games. He thought Moon would back up when he spammed, and well, he didn't. So.
No, that's. I mean, I don't know if they would have gotten that kill anyways had they hit that arrow.
Probably not.
He is a pretty squishy hero, but they need to get and converge there. Swindle actually has this mech now, so he's putting some work into the top tower. You have a rotation from Ush. His exorcism is actually done. They'll Crypt Swarm and just try to push this out as quickly as possible. There's other heroes up top. Riser is getting closer and closer to his Blink Dagger. Bottom's also getting pressured with Flimp and Z-Freak. They might even go after TC here. Here goes the cusp shot. Blink away, and he's fine.
Yep, and top lane pressure continuing. Moon Meander is just about out of mana, though, and Crypt Swarm spam is continuing here as 3 levels of corrosive skin, so quite a bit of magic resistance at this point. Fluff shooting off an arrow is off the mark. They put down a ward here. I like this quite a bit. They know that there's some action in this area, and they want to keep eyes on everyone. Try to set up an engagement for them. Moon spamming forward again with that Sleight of Fist, chaining up on Whitebeard, who does not have Reincarnate yet.
Close, but he needs to get it soon. If he has it when they push into this tower, it's a huge boon for them, but I think they're just going to let this go, and I think that might be the right decision. There's no reason to take a fight into Ravage when they have a mech especially, and they know that they have the mech now as well. They'll try to put pressure on the bottom lane, but I imagine compLexity to TP down to the bottom lane and try to defend this, although there's not that many TPs on some of their heroes, and in fact, they might just be able to let this go.
So
yeah.
Z-Freak's certainly not going to be TPing into that area, so maybe a little bit of a tower trade here. Ush picks up a Illusion Rune, and there's a Blink Dagger for the Tidehunter. I mean, it was a solo lane, so probably to be expected. Tide generally does pretty well. So.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's not like you have to go for a mech, which we used to see at some points. That's not the case this time around. It's obviously a Viper mech, so it's just trying to find, you know, making use of all of the abilities without having to go for, you know, any item that kind of delays you from being involved in these team fights. So mech for Viper is pretty standard. Blink Dagger for Tide's pretty standard. Now, pressure on the tier 2 tower coming out here. Ush is going to try to defend this, but he's all by his lonesome. He could get jumped on here easily.
He'll get blown up very easily if he doesn't get some assistance. And oh, looks like he's going to get blown up anyway. TPs are coming in. Nope, canceled.
Oh, they canceled him.
They're like, all right, boys, tower's dead. Let's go for the tier 2. And that is definitely going to be a worthwhile trade if they can get it, but we'll find out.
Yeah, that was just Ush is alone. No creep wave, dead. Already somebody TPing back home, so Riser's not going towards that tier 3 tower bottom. But this is taking a long time. It's only TC and Bananas that are putting pressure on this tower. So, but top lane's still taking a long time to take as well. I mean, it's taking them a couple of seconds here just to bring this down. So trades all over the map, but they will TP in. They have Blink Ravage. TC does have a split. FB is going TC in trouble. There's the Ravage. TC in trouble. Looks like, no, he gets
wow!
Just barely. Wow, I can't believe that. Riser in trouble. Now Cyclone. Riser's still maybe in trouble. There's the Dispel Magic. Not dead yet. The Rock gonna fly. No, they don't need it, but now TC should fall here. Unless he can get his blink off, which would be impressive.
He might have a
chance.
Got to get the blink. Early anchor smash. No, he's dead. Not able to get it off, and Limp grabs that one. 18 HP before the split. We saw he was down to the very minimum there, but they do get Swindlemons up in the top lane. Missed that one, and looks like they just stunned him into arrow. So Reincarnation now up for Whitebeard. That's pretty big as well.
Yeah, they get Swindlemons, they get the kill on Riser bottom. They actually split, though, and they don't get the tower. But it's not in deny range, so not the worst thing for Sna in that little bit of a trade for the Nyx Assassins. compLexity, however, have a 3,000 team net worth lead and experience lead of 5,000, so you've got to be very careful. However, with the Medallion now on Fluff and stuff, they're going to try to take Roshan. But Ush is maybe dead here. Wow, Z-Freak gets a solo kill on Ush. That is not good.
That's definitely not where you want to be at with your solo dying to a support there, but he does have, of course, pretty good tool set for bringing down Ush, so he is going down, and they're going to smoke into Roche here. Nyx Assassins know this game is pretty dicey at this point, so they're going to just go for sort of the safe maneuver on Dire, move into Roshan here. They've got a ward covering the area, and there's a lot of heroes missing from the map for them from compLexity, but looks like they're mostly jungling, and compLexity have to sort of suspect that this is probably happening. The problem is that TC is in the bottom lane, so it's a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, but there's nobody else in the map right now. You could maybe say that, yeah, of course they have somebody in the jungle, but there's this nice observer ward. Not that that spot's, you know, catching out much of the jungle here for the Radiant side, so Moon gets more farm in the mid lane. He's got his drum done now. He's got level 11, but Ush does finally get at Aegis here, so he's a bit safe to roam around. That gives them a bit of golden experience, but they need a bit more. There's a tier 1 top still that they could try to take here. They have split up, ready to go. TC now with his treads. They have the team fight. It's just, you know, the positioning. And I think compLexity's done a very nice job of putting on pressure, you know, on different towers and just kind of splitting up the Nyx Assassins from really getting what they want to get done.
Yeah, and, you know, considering how the last fight went, I think TC is definitely already considering a BKB. Maybe he can play a bit safer and sort of avoid that, but the Blink Ravage is very annoying for him to deal with, as the Ravage animation is probably a bit shorter than the cast animation for Primal Split, so good chance that'll get canceled between that and looks like a 4-staff coming up here for Z-Freak on the Skywrath mage to get in a position to get that silence off. So BKB definitely a consideration here. Nyx Assassins trying to get back into this one, as like you mentioned, they are a bit behind, and I think you can definitely accredit a lot of that to that aggressive tri-lane bottom. And wow, long range arrow on Z-Freak from the lane. That was like absolute max range, and they can't even get close to him in time.
No, yeah, he's gone by that time. I think a lot of also the compLexity's successes in this game have come to Ush getting shut down, and I think Moon is attributed to a lot of that. There's the Yule Scepter for Ush that he just got, by the way. Silence, not in time, unfortunately, so he remnants away. Just a bit too late there. But again, that Yule Scepter came out and it was a bit late. I actually haven't seen a Death Prophet shut down this hard in some time.
Yeah, definitely not a great game for Ush. And well, the good news is that his ultimate is still just as good at killing buildings. So level 11 is up now, and it looks like maybe a formation here in the top lane for the Nyx Assassins. They are definitely looking to group up somewhere soon, especially with this Aegis up, with level 11 up on the Death Prophet.
They can't afford to trade a tier 1 bottom for, you know, maybe not even getting the tier 1 top. They have to rotate out. So they wanted to maybe group up top, but they just couldn't do it. Again, this is just compLexity stretching the map and gaining absolute map control. I mean, you look how aggressive these wards are coming out from the Radiant squad, and that just shows you that they're the ones in control of the game currently, despite giving away Roshan. It's not that big of a deal. Z-Freak smoked up. He's half health now, but he doesn't care. He wants to get a kill. We'll see if they can find a target.
Yeah, and a lot of wards there, and oh wow, Limp just, oh boy, executes Fluff and stuff, and actually missed change there by Moon.
Whitebeard will be able to get out, but Fluff does go down.
They do so reincarnate though. That's a really long cooldown, so 260 seconds is basically forever.
Again, no Ravage though, so I don't know if they're going to continue the pressure here. With Moon getting a DD, maybe. But bottom lane, they're actually looking to make it go on Swindle, who does have a TP. And Yule's first, maybe?
Here to slow him down. Yeah, and they're going to get in position here to get off the
he
clap.
could just TP out now if he wanted to.
They're actually going to blow the split on Swindle Melon, so huge investment there. And looks like they might lose the tier 1 middle for this. Mass TP is coming in. They are still under Moonlight Shadow. Here they go, and Whitebeard charging forward is going to get the stun off on Moon. This might open an opportunity. Oh, good. He moves out. Catches up to that Remnant. Almost saved an arrow.
And they still have Exorcism for Death Prophet. Shields himself up in the air for us to get out now, but yeah, I'm surprised they used the split just for Swindle alone in that bottom lane, but another Searing Chain's coming up from Moon. They want to try to fight this. Moon still has a DD. There's Drunken Haze. He can Remnant away. He's got one left, I believe. Meanwhile, Concussive Shot, Mystic Flare, Fluff zoned out. Counter ward, now Exorcism's going to go. Who are they going to chase after here? Everyone else is going to get out except for Moon. Z-Freak. They actually missed the Gale. He's going to try to TP. All right, that didn't work out. he's like, well, I'm going to TP. No, just never mind. I'm done. So that's actually a mega kill streak too. That's actually a lot of money for Fluff. So
So what's he going to purchase with that? He does have a medallion. Maybe he looks to finish boots or goes towards a bigger item.
I think this is not a like hard carry type Mirana game. I think this is I go 4-step because the rest of my team can't really. So.
Yeah, I mean, I always agree with 4-staff, especially when there's a Viper, there's the Ember Spirit. You kind of want to get a positional advantage on those heroes. Blinks away from the Tide Hunter, and very, very, very back and forth game here.
I definitely think that compLexity have the control, and if they have the control, they have the room for Moon to farm. But he's been playing so aggressively that it's just like he doesn't even care about getting his next items. But it's working out, so you really can't complain. And they have Ravage up in 13 seconds, so they might as well try to fight. Whitebeard still has no reincarnation for 2 minutes. That's the problem with that ultimate at its first level. He's going for a Blade Mail, but that's still a ways away. TC has split in 8. He's trying to get an Aghanim Scepter, but this is so tough. They're so tanky on compLexity side. We talked about the cores being tanky on Nyx's side, but it's very difficult to deal with for Nyx's has to fight into compLexity now is what it looks like. Although they do have Exorcism up in a couple of seconds here. So
Spirit in the back for Moon. A lot of Plague Wards put up here. Ooh, almost gets nailed by an arrow.
This is where the tension builds.
Yeah, this is they're facing off here, and Usher's moving forward.
He's manning up here. I don't know if this is the best.
He does not have that much HP. He does have the Aegis still, which is running out in 28 seconds. So
yeah, that's smart. Just put some pressure on the tier 2 tower mid lane. They get it down below half health, but compLexity doesn't have to finish this game anytime soon. I don't think. It's really up to Nyx Assassins to try and do something here, and they're starting to lose their opportunities to get towers and to take fights that they can take on an even playing field. So yeah. And with no Aegis now, I don't know what you do, I guess, in this situation.
A good adaptation here by Ush, though, is going to go for a Vitality booster just to get that HP up so he doesn't get bursted down quite as easily. TC playing with fire in the mid lane is going to get out of there before the Burrow Strike hits him. And continuing forward, Sna looks like they're a little kind of running out of steam a little bit here. And moving forward, I mean, Moonmeander is going to be going for Battle Fury. He goes on Fluff and stuff, who is going to, oh my god, gets stacked on, and Moonmeander doing real well there, but split use, and he is just dead.
He's got no remnants. Actually, he does have one now, but he actually can't jump away, so he's dead, and that's not worth it. That's just Moon being Moon, going in aggressively.
That is exactly Moon being Moon. That's definitely what I would call that one.
Like, I get you want the kill, but
they do know that there's probably a ward there now, so I guess that's a bright side.
So, not the best engagement, but okay. I mean, you get a kill. He is going Battle Fury. He's got the Perseverance already. He actually just bought it too, so he doesn't lose that much gold when he goes down. But there's a better play there, and I don't think that's it. So now let's get to the bottom complexity.
Pretty YOLO.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And
still, I mean, Nyx Assassins still look very tentative here about their movements, though, and without TC having split, I don't know if they can defend these towers, but good news is Ush gets top with Exorcism.
Again, you have to understand that Nyx are playing with 2 stand-ins, so... But, oh god. Okay, Bananas, you're out of position, my friend. Ancient Seal, Burrow Strike, that'll grab the kill, so...
Base created.
I guess.
Top lane, they're going to try to get this tower, but a well-timed glyph, end of Exorcism here for Ush. That glyph definitely saves the tower, and Moonmeander's just sitting here in the back. Does have a couple of remnants available, and in comes the Sand King, gets a good Burrow Strike stacked on by Moon, and in comes the Ravage as well, and they are just all going to fall underneath. There's the Reincarnation, is going to get a return kill. Decent silence there for Ush, but now he's on the run as well. I guess that could have gone worse, but still pretty ugly there.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it gave at least a little bit of room for Swindle to get the tier 2 tower bottom and put some pressure on the tier 3 tower. TC is being shut down. He's going Aghanims first now, and I was talking about how Ags might be okay this game, and now I'm kind of just considering otherwise. He's getting bursted down so quickly that a BKB, I think, might have been a better investment, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point he just has to get BKB next, but unfortunately, like you said, he is definitely committed to this Aghanims, at least first.
They're going to get to the denying the tier 2 tower top, too, so everything going the way of complexity here. So, Refresher's also being built by Limp, unsurprisingly. He's got 1,300 gold. He's already got a blink in 4-step. There's really nothing else that he needs. And Aghanim's now done for the Viper, so for sieging and for fighting, really, if you're waiting for one more item for complexity, it's probably the Battle Fury of Moonmeander, and then you could just start going to town. Maybe you wait a bit longer for the Refresher from Tidehunter, but as far as everything else goes, you've pretty much got it. I don't know if you need another item. Surprisingly, though, actually, Z-Freak's having a rough time. He still doesn't have his 4-staff yet, but for how much farm the rest of his team's getting, I don't think he minds in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically getting no last hits, just stacking and ganking, so it is working out for them. And TC about to have the Aghanims, and the thing is if he gets it off in a fight, it's going to make a huge difference. Ush, maybe just going for pure HP here. Heart does have a lot of gold in the bank. With that Vit booster, have to imagine that a Reaver is definitely...
You're not going to go a Bloodstone. You're not going to get the charges for it.
Bloodstone is not an option when you're behind like this.
You can't snowball out of control. You can't get the charges. It just doesn't work out. You'll have like 8 charges, then it'll get down to like 6. Then it's just
not a great idea.
It's like a 1 Bloodstone charge. It's like, what is that doing for you in this situation? It's pretty much nothing. You have to go for a heart. That'll keep him alive. But again, I think really level 3 ultimate might change things around though for Ush. I mean, if they choose the right fights, then that's the key. But again, compLexity have been so smart in choosing their engagements, with the exception of Moon blowing up Fluff then dying immediately afterwards, that I don't know if Nyx Assassins can choose the right fight. It really comes down to compLexity and what they want to push into.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing here is, honestly, I haven't really felt the impact of this Venomancer. You know, I mean, he's kind of been pushing the towers a little bit, but, you know, the mech was not quite early enough to make that just monumental difference in fights. So he's going to be building towards an Ags now, and that is certainly going to give him a big impact in team fights, pretty much no matter what. So TC, Ags done. Venomancer, Ags almost done. Moon Meander is going to pick himself up an Invis rune and getting pretty close to being able to finish up that Battle Fury.
Yeah, he's in a great spot now. I'm surprised they're not further ahead, but yeah, I don't think it really is that big of a deal. I think compLexity are content with doing what they're doing now.
Heart's done though for Ush, and that's a lot more HP, possibly enough to make it so he does not get bursted down. And
I think this next fight, Nyx has to win. Otherwise,
yeah,
if you lose this fight with these items, you're in deep trouble.
They are in a pretty good position to do so. But they're just going to have to be careful with how they deal with the Skywrath silence. And I think they need to be the ones engaging. They need to make moves here. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult.
They'll smoke up, and Ush is the only one not inside smoke. Oh, boy.
There they move forward. He does get the split off. Swindlemelons taking damage. There's the extra clap. And wow, Whitebeard is just absolutely gone. There was a Blade Mail. In comes the Ravage. Ush still very alive, though. There's the mechanism for the Venomancer up in the air. He uses himself. Moon Meanders all over the place. Caught in the Roche pit, actually gets stunned up, and Ush is just blowing up everyone. The Nyx Assassins have broken open this one very late. Is it going to be enough to kill Ush? No, it's not. Mega kill, ultra kill for Ush, and now they're going to take this one right into the Roshan pit, and a huge fight for the Nyx Assassins as they just absolutely take that fight with these new items. TC gets the ult off. Ush gets full duration with that heart. Venomancer dealing a huge amount of damage as well. So,
ladies and gentlemen, level 3 Death Prophet. Level 3 Death Prophet ultimate coming into play. That'll do it. That'll do it. TC, the ult was good. He gets it off before he gets focused down, and they're, like you said, the ones to initiate. Whitebeard is pretty much a non-factor in that fight, not that it really matters. Big Venom ult as well, getting at a couple of the heroes. Moon wasn't really that big of a deal in the fight. He got stuck, like you mentioned. I didn't really see him that much of the fight. Tyler got his Ravage off and then just died afterwards, so... yeah, that is huge, actually. That gives them Roche, that gives them a team fight, that gives them maybe map control. And all of a sudden, if you look at the graph of team net worth, it goes right down towards 2,500. It's dropping close to almost even at this point. And that gets them right back into this game. And of course, if the later this game goes, all of a sudden your Wraith King starts becoming a bit of a factor as well. So now you're like, well, that's not good. We really can't afford another fight like that for compLexity. So
yeah, and they're going to push forward here. Viper does have the Aghanim spamming out the Viper Strike, and, well, Aegis is done here. It's going to be picked up by TC. Again, they just want to make sure that he gets that ultimate off. Drunken Haze on Moon, Swindlemelons. Moving forward here, and with no Ravage, are they going to be able to take this fight? Of course, Exorcism is back up. TC splits back up, and I don't know if they were counting on that. He's up in the air, caught by the arrow. Swindlemelons is going to be going down here, most likely. He is 4-staffed away, but the Ghosts are going to town. There's the Venomancer as well. Down goes Swindlemelons. Whitebeard pings him off with the Wraithfire Blast. Moon on the way out now as well, in full retreat for Call, as I do not think they were ready for that. Arrow gonna catch Moon Meander as well. Down they go. 2 fights in a row, and the Nyx Assassins are back with vengeance after a very shaky early game, a very shaky aggressive tri-lane, and they just tear 2 fights in a row apart.
TC's ult came up right as they were pushing in there.
Literally right as they were pushing in.
And Ush's as well, so they were not expecting that fight to occur. They thought that they had a couple more seconds, at least until Ravage was up and available, but Ravage just came off cooldown. And then the Venom ult as well. So, I mean, everything just goes the way of Nyx Assassins. Riser tries to reinitiate, gets caught in the Venomancer ult. He goes down to right-click, and obviously, Swindlemon's as tanky as he is. He's not tanky enough where he can live through that amount of burst damage from the entire team of Nyx Assassins, and a great arrow by Fluff instead of the land. All of a sudden, they're turning it around, and any questions that you had for Nyx Assassins in this game, they're being answered. And I really feel like Moon could just benefit from farming a bit more and just taking engagements that benefit them. But they're pressing and they're prodding, and it's not working out. But again, the game's not over, although it is even.
Yeah, kind of a. I mean, Moon just doesn't have a lot of HP. And there's a lot of pretty hard stunts here for the Nyx Assassins with the silence as well. So he definitely needs to be a bit more careful in these fights. You really just want to sit in the back, but he goes super, super crazy with those charges, plays very aggressive. And when you remnant forward, you can't remnant back as easily. So certainly an issue, especially if you get slowed, then your remnant is super slow and you don't actually get to really go anywhere. TC is looking for a kill, I think, in this bottom jungle, farming up a bit as well. Would love to find a support to burst down, but ultimates are back up.
And surprisingly enough, compLexity aren't willing to just stay on their side of the river, even after those engagements. They realize that the key to this game, I think, is map control, and they'll continue to try to grab it in the top jungle. But there is now the refresher up on the Tidehunter. However, Shiva's Guard as well for Ush. So Ush, who had one of the craziest starts as a Death Prophet, he was at like 2 and 4, 3 and 4 and something. He hasn't died since then. He's gotten a couple more kills. He's recovered extraordinarily well. He's
been huge. And, he wants to catch Moon. I don't think he's going to get him. And
Moon, I think, yeah, he just runs away. He doesn't even have a drum charge. He doesn't need it. He throws the remnant away just to make sure that if he gets caught out, he just hit his D-bow and head out of there. So for now, Nyx Assassins are feeling confident, but they'll play passively and patiently until they find another opportunity, whether that's through a smoke, whether that's through someone out of position, or
moving forward here. They're going to go on Swindle Melons. Ush is here as well. He does get 4-staffed, double 4-staffed, in fact. And are they going to be able to catch up to him? Yes, he throws him up in the air. Ush is here, drops down the ultimate. They want Swindle Melons. Unfortunately, with the ghost already going, the Ravage is only going to delay the inevitable, but a really, really good echo. Oh my god, they're blown up. Ravage is used as well as the Epi, but in comes Whitebeard. TC is out of ulti. He is out to right-click. Another good Burrow Strike, catches 2, and a very dicey fight thus far for the Nyx Assassins. Can they close it out? There is the Aegis. Z-Freak running away at low HP. Whitebeard gonna go down. There's the Reincarnation, and TC actually blinks away from this one. A little surprised he doesn't choose to re-engage their Riser, as Whitebeard just left out to dry.
He just stunned the range group too, so he gets at least the CS there. But yeah, that was, they didn't have everybody. Bananas was nowhere near that engagement, and Fluff I don't think was really ready for that either. So that was just a rough situation. Yeah, they get swindles, but really great double Ravage. So they know the refresher's up now. That was the first fight with the refresher, and actually changed the complexity of the fight. No pun intended, although I'll take it.
That was, I don't believe you.
Z-Freak actually had a huge Mystic Flare as well. TC uses his ultimate, and they try to get a couple of kills, but were unable to do so. At least TC wastes the Aegis, and he stays alive. He's going BKB next, so that'll be a big deal.
Stun. Out it comes. That's a big deal. Like you mentioned, I mean, blinking forward, that means he's going to get that extra clap off pretty much guaranteed. So this is a pretty crucial item for the Nyx Assassins. And with these, again, ultis are just coming off cooldown again because, you know, once you have level 3 Aghanims as well, and this Brewmaster is becoming pretty difficult for them to deal with in these fights. With no BKBs on complexity, he's able to get some good lifts off, and he has been doing so pretty much every fight. So the Nyx Assassin's still pushing through here, and taking a look at the gold graph, it has definitely swung. It was never too severe, really. 5,000 is not that much, and Arrow going to sail through. Moon going to make it out, just barely uses a remnant again.
Yeah, you're right. The game was never really out of anyone's grasp here. It really came down to
dicey.
the fight.
Very dicey.
I think, again, if Moon maybe just farmed up a bit more, they get a couple more kills, or they wait for
and
pressure. But they're
compLexity.
pushing down mid.
They are not in position for this at all. Skywrath, no TP.
TC's ready to jump in. He's looking for the first opportunity to find a clap and a split. Again, his BKB is ready. They're going to go for the exorcism right now. Swindle on the front lines, but nice blink from TC avoids that Viper Strike damage. Here we go. Jumping in from Moonbander. He'll jump in with the Sleight of Fist in the chains. He'll catch out Whitebeard. He doesn't have his reincarnation for 40 seconds. On the backside, you can see Z-Freak coming through. There's the Moonlight Shadow. They want to re-engage. They find out Z-Freak, but they won't be able to chase, I don't believe. No, go back. Use your exorcism on the tower. Come on. Now they've got to back up. All right, well.
Get surprised by the course of that fight and decisions made there. I think they didn't know that Z-Freak was gone that whole time. They could have just gone in, I think, but instead they're going to be waiting a bit longer.
That's okay. I mean, exorcism down, yes, and reincarnation wasn't up either, so it's probably a smarter decision just to do that. Moonlight Shadow's down again. Now what does compLexity do with this? Atos is finished, and actually that's the choice for Z-Freak. He'll be a bit tankier, and he's got them, obviously, the slow, which is nice to cripple. So Roshan is still not up for, at the very least, another minute. And that should be, I think, the biggest objective. Again, Refresher Ravage now available for Limp, and it's level 3 as well, so... Oh, boy.
Fluff's got a blink dagger.
Middle tower has fallen.
Okay. I'm down. I think that's fine.
You're down? He's a
Yeah,
Mirana.
I mean, it's okay to initiate with.
I think I would get I think I'd much rather get a Force Staff.
I mean, Force is, I think, probably the more standard decision, but I don't think it's
Can we get some info here on blink daggers?
The amount of blink daggers on us.
I imagine it's a rather low number.
Well,
but,
I mean,
I'm
just because it's a low number doesn't necessarily mean that it's the wrong decision.
No, I don't think it's like a terrible choice given the way that this game is going, but I mean, I think a Force Staff is at least for support always a little bit more beneficial. That's my opinion though. He's more
mobile in these engagements, which are pretty lengthy. With double Force Staff, it allows him to catch up to whoever's getting forced twice on the side of compLexity and maybe get an arrow after he's stunned up with that rock. So, and you can always just leap out, obviously. So
there's also, I mean, the other thing I'm worried about is there's a good amount of stuff here that sort of disables that. Sandstorm, Flame Guard, Corrosive Skin. That's I think more what I'm worried about. But
yeah, but again, we've seen the blink away from the Viper Strike, which has been pretty useful already.
That's a pretty big interaction. And well, they're grouping up around Roshan. We'll see if the Nyx Assassins want to expend Exorcism for this, or if they would like to just right-click it down with that medallion. It looks like they're probably just going to try to right-click it.
Under attack.
This is kind of a bold play. They don't have that much vision around the Roche pit, so...
Again, compLexity, though, is... they're a little bit out of position for this, and...
I think they want to smoke. They maybe have an understanding this is happening.
They need to make moves, though. Veil is done for Riser. There's the smoke.
Where are they going, though? You better be going to Roche. Okay.
I think they're going there. They pop the Exorcism. It looks like Ushnos is happening, wants to make sure that gets off. And, of course, that is going to put it on cooldown for a little bit here, but we'll see if they can force a fight onto compLexity. There are wards. There's the Shivas. It's going to hit up on the Skywrath Mage. The Yules as well. In comes Zero. Z-Freak's dead.
Okay.
They get something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's somewhat low. I guess 90 seconds is not that bad. Only a minute and a half, so... It comes down to pushing back the wave top for Moon Meander as he's already pushing in, and kind of dealing with what compLexity had to deal with in the previous game against Union. So
8 blink dagger purchases. That's not a lot.
I'm not. Listen, that's not the argument.
I'm just saying, man. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think being able to, if his argument is to be able to dodge Viper Strike, I think that's pretty good. But Moon, he is way back. Does have TP and a regen rune, so he's gonna make it out.
Here's my argument. Besides Momoya, MMY, Fluff and Stuff is one of the very few that pioneered the Mirana support. So I'm giving him free reign to do with what he wills.
You blindly believe. All right, that's fine.
I don't think
it's bad. I just, personally, I'm a fan of the Force Staff, but I think there's definitely an argument. I mean, there's an argument to be made for sure.
I'm glad we got that out of the way, everybody. It took us a bit of time, but we're better for it now, and
we've grown and learned from our choices.
Yeah, exactly. 40 minutes in, this game's still very close.
Yeah, and
cheats now though for TC. He's got the BKB. There is, however, a Daedalus for Moon Meander, and this is where it gets a bit sketchy.
Yeah, when your supports started getting, just one-shotted basically, or two-shotted is when it gets a little dicey. The good news is that really Fluff is the only one who's that, that low HP where that becomes somewhat of a concern. Venomancer 1700. Everyone else is doing pretty well. Whitebeard 1500. But if he dies, it's, you know, got
But
reincarnation.
over the process of a siege, it's really just the damage that adds up, and,
Yeah,
and
I
then
mean, I
eventually
think-
when the fight breaks out, then it becomes a problem.
Exactly.
So
Snog going to be looking for fast team fights here. Moon moves forward, gets the chains off. They do need to be careful with the epicenter. Veil level 16 as well. Whitebeard taking a lot of damage, like we were talking about. There's a
that's
Viper
ridiculous.
Strike, pops the stick. Gonna live
He might
for
die.
the moment. And I
He's
think
dead.
Snog
He's
just
dead.
they either need to commit or just leave right now without.
I don't know. Reincarnation is kind of important. I don't know if you really commit without it. I mean, because I guess they don't really need Whitebeard. They in that fight mid, they just kind of let him do his own thing and then die. And BKB from Ush, I think, is probably what they wait for before they go in. But while that's all happening, a tier 3 bottom is being pressured by a creep wave. It will get pushed out eventually.
Yeah, they have
So they're not in
bottom
trouble.
Is under attack.
Moon's still spamming here with Sleight of Fist. Arrow's gonna come in. Just barely misses a couple of euros.
All right, I'm waiting. I'm ready to go. This fight, it's
It's a big
Dire's
one.
bottom
Complexity
tower
lose this
is
one,
under
they're going to
attack.
lose a Rax, absolutely, maybe even more, depending
I
on how
think-
early Ush deploys it. They might
Yeah,
even just
they-
lose.
They still have 3 minutes for this Aegis too, so I should walk up here in just a moment. Pop the Exorcism. That'll be the tier 3. They do have the glyph. There's the Viper Strike going. There is the Exorcism. They are going to go ahead and just try to finish off this tier 3 tower. Whitebeard walking forward. Again, he has no reincarnation. Ravage
Oh,
going. It actually
boy.
misses the blink, but there's the epicenter coming in. TC's BKB. No damage done. They do lose Whitebeard. There's the primal split. They're going to go further. Riser falls low. It is absolutely cleaned up by TC now. Glyph going through. Exorcism still up. Moonmander getting thunderclap by the Aegis, or rather the Rhea, of course. Aghanim Scepter from TC. Meanwhile, Swindle's getting low. He's in trouble. Big Bro onto 2. Nobody dead other than Whitebeard just yet. Now, big Mystic Flare. MJW will fall. Ush, Ancient Sealed. They've got to back away. Nice use of that Dual Scepter, but he's still in a lot of trouble. Burrow Strike coming through. Ush about to fall. He does have Aegis, mind you, but they cannot get the racks. Big defense coming out from Complexity. And maybe they're not done yet. Looks like Ush should fall again and will.
Yeah, Ush very dead and not able. Oh boy.
What lies beyond?
100% win rate for Blink Dagger in 8 games. Right. Stats. That's how stats work. That sample size of 8.
I'll teach you.
Oh boy.
But, I mean, it's not looking good now. Although there is a BKB, however, for the Wraith King. So Whitebeard is able to get up enough farm where a lot of their damage and initiation, yes, was originally on Viper, was originally on, obviously, the Tidehunter and the Sand King, but now with a couple of BKBs, they're really relying on Moon. They go straight for this tier 3 tower. What can they accomplish with this push? They have Glyph on now for Nyx. They're going to throw out a Viper Strike on Whitebeard. He doesn't seem to mind too much. There's the Glyph coming through, but now Death Prophet's down for 42 seconds, and without a buyback, this actually might be right. So, wow, Complexity have turned that around quickly.
10 seconds until they have the ultimate here for the Brewmaster. And they're just going to move forward. They just need to commit to this. They can't let the Rax die for nothing. They move forward. BKB for Bananas in your face. And here comes TC. Does have the Primal Split available. There it is. Swindle Melon's taking damage. Moon Meander has aborted the mission. And Swindle Melon's going to fall here with the gem as well. They're going to try to kill Bananas in your face. They burst him down. Good effort there by the Skywrath Mage. Up in the air goes the Tidehunter. Whitebeard has triggered his reincarnation. Z-Freak getting low is probably going to fall here. No, takes out Whitebeard. Forces away. 28 HP. Moon Meander now has moved forward, and Nyx Assassins need to figure out what they're going to do in this fight. Ush is back into the fight. There's the Exorcism. This might be enough to crush everyone from Complexity. Does still have the BKB available. Riser trying to move away. And, oh, Ush is caught by the Searing Chains. That might be enough to keep him all alive. And TC is bought back as well, so, oh boy, Fluff. He's alive.
Wow, this is huge.
Well,
And they
he's
lose
not alive.
Fluff.
He dies. Viper
Yeah, the
Strike
Viper
kills
Strike
him.
takes him down. So TC also bought back in that situation, and that's Moon Meander just putting in work there. He was doing exactly what he needed to do, which was jumping in and out of the fight. He was kiting out the Brewmaster very effectively, and pretty much everybody else. And he stays alive. They don't even force a buyback. They don't force him to go down. So with Moon Meander still living, this game becomes very difficult because now there's no real buybacks in Nyx Assassins, or at least none that really matter at this point. And they still have a couple of buybacks with Moon, obviously, with the Tidehunter. They take down a tier 3 tower. Again, the set of Rax is still alive, but it looks like it's very difficult. Although with an Assault Cuirass, maybe for TC, which is, he does have the Hyperstone, he's still far away from the rest of the item. This could be maybe an item that absolutely opens the game back up. However, one good fight going for Complexity, and it's not going to matter. They'll take the Rax and probably the game, especially if TC dies yet again.
Yeah, and Exorcism is on cooldown for 40 seconds, and there's a buyback from the Tidehunter, and that is an aggressive buyback if I've ever seen one. They're going to charge down middle and try to end this game with this Exorcism on cooldown. It's 30 more seconds now. Double Ravage is available. The BKBs are all on cooldown, but here we go. This is the turning point here for Nyx Assassins. They're just going to lose, I think, if they lose this fight once again. Last one was a battle, required a lot of buybacks, and they're setting up the wall of Plague Wards.
Have a good turtling lineup because of the Plague Wards, but I mean, Moon could just keep jumping and zipping in and out, and just Arrow does connect on Riser, but I don't think there's any real opportunity to initiate. You can't initiate into double Ravage, I don't think so.
They do have a lot of BKBs, so maybe they're gonna choose, but I mean, now finally Exorcism is back up, and maybe the window of opportunity for complexity here is closed.
Everyone except Fluff has a BKB, so yeah.
There's the Moonlight Shadow. Are they going to use this to move forward? TC turns on the Blink Dagger, goes on Swindle Melons. Another good Force Staff. They need more mobility to get forward here when they're retreating. There's one Ravage. Is there going to be a second? Yes, there is, and that's going to be enough to bring down the Venomancer, who did not get off his ultimate. Tidehunter's going to fall here, but pretty inconsequential. He's already used most of his abilities. Whitebeard is going to go down. Still has BKB available. Fluff's out of the fight. Riser, he's going down. Epicenter off on cooldown, so not a big deal once again. Moon, though, still standing in the back of the fight. Strong. Remnants up. Remnants away. Once again, regenning up. How does he always have these regen runes? They're going to fire away at him. Arrow is off the mark. Shiva's just barely going to miss. Yules is ready to go, and another good change by Moon Meander, showing that he's not just all pub skills. And is he going to make it out of this one? He's out of Remnants.
TC's looking for a Blink and a Drunken Haze, and I don't think he's going to get it. That Remnant just came online. He's got a TP. They need an arrow. I think it's already gone. Are you not entertained? What a fight. My God, this game is going back and forth like crazy. I don't know who's going to win this one. And you mentioned, obviously, the mobility coming out from complexity with their Force Staffs, but for some reason, I don't know, Nyx Assassins could just chase down with Exorcism. They just blow heroes up like crazy. Double Ravage does nothing except for blow up the Venomancer, which it's not that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, you don't have Poison Nova, but they already have a ton of damage anyways, and that gives TC a lot of farm too, which gets him even closer to the Assault Cuirass. Roche is up, 4th Roshan. Again, Cheese and Aegis available, and TC is going to town on this. They've got to take it now. Well, of course, they still have a lot of heroes down for complexity. Moon can't certainly jump in there, but this could, again, be another change, another turning point. We've changed hands like 3 or 4 times. It's crazy.
Yeah, this game is super back and forth, and now the gem is here for TC. He is going to drop that, and we'll see someone else will pick it up, because he will be the carrier of either the Cheese or the Aegis. And I think I prefer the Aegis on the Brewmaster and the Cheese on Ush, but we'll see what they choose here. As you know, Ush has really turned this game around. He's gone from, like you said, 2-4, now 13-6, really utilizing those items to get back into this one. And Roche is there. There's the Aegis for the Brewmaster and the Cheese for Ush. And as expected, we'll see. Ultis are up. 40 seconds for reincarnation.
You know, as good as a player as Ush is, I don't want to make, you know, the distinction that his being, you know, his item decision, obviously his item decisions are great, but it's really just the Death Prophet as a hero is just a good hero. It's a good hero. I don't know what else to say other than it's like once you get to level 3 ultimate and you have a heart and a Eul Scepter, I don't really know how you lose an engagement. Those ghosts do way too much damage. Like, even if you have a ton of armor, which to be fair, they don't. They have a Shiva's Guard on Tidehunter at the very least, but still, I just don't know in this situation now who takes this game. You have buybacks now on the side of the Dire here, with both Ush and obviously Whitebeard having them, but there's a Scotty being completed for Moon Meander, so that'll give him some tankiness and survivability. Not that he's dying in these fights anyways, so.
Yeah, he has had pretty good mobility in these fights, and like you said, just sort of darting back and forth, but he hasn't really been able to get too many kills because of just the tankiness of the Nyx Assassins. And I think they need to consider just pushing in here with all these buybacks on cooldown, or just not even available. Of course, they don't know that, but this is sort of a big opportunity for them.
I'm looking at the items and seeing. I'm looking for what they're waiting for. They have all of their ultimates up. They have the gem. They have the Cheese Aegis. Obviously, BKBs. I think it's the Assault Cuirass. I think for TC, that pretty much wins them the game. But he's still a ways away from that. He has the chainmail. He needs the plate mail, and obviously the rest be the two of the most.
Yeah, and he also has to decide, you know, do I want to keep buyback off ready and things like that. So Decisions here for Nixon. It looks like they are going to choose to perhaps pressure back down this mid lane. The Rax is exposed. And, of course, that is going to make it a bit easier for the Death Prophet to bring that one down.
At some point in time, you have to wonder how long this game can actually go for. Again, this next fight,
if you go ultra late, you got to favor the Ember.
No, absolutely. TC's going to walk up, though, and this might be it, actually. They're going to pop the Exorcism. Ush walks right in. There's the Moonlight Shadow. They don't wait for the Assault Cuirass. They want this Rax, and they want it now, damn it. And there's Swindle going in. Maybe a double Ravage. And Moon does a lot of work coming out with that Sleight of Fist. There's another Shiva's Guard coming out, this time on the opposing team. That Rax about to blow up. The first of the game about to fall. Will it? The melee. It goes down. Big Burrow and the Ravage. A double Ravage now. Nick's getting turned on here. Ush cheeses up. In the meantime, backup is going to be TC. There's the Primal Split. Epicenter. I'm not sure if it got off or not. Looks like it didn't. Moon about to fall for the first time. He's dead for 86 seconds. Boom. 2 down. Lip getting Wraithfire blasted. He's going to go down as well. No buybacks now on the side of the Radiant team. This might be it. Sneaky Nick's Assassins looking to take it all. Swindle silenced up. Wraithfire blast. He's done. Boom. Double kill for TC. They go for the Rax. They'll go for the bottom tier 3 as well. And this is going to be it. It looks like Sneaky Nick's Assassins at the 50-minute mark, looking like they were going to go down at about 20 to 25. They take this game, and they win it handedly here.
Quite late, back and forth the entire time, but in the end, the push with absolutely no buybacks available and 9 health for Ush. When he used that cheese, he is playing with our emotions, and the Desolator even purchased up by him to make sure that they can end this one in all. The Sneaky Nick's Assassins, they take their first victory in the Canada Cup.
That was a hard game for Sna. 2 stand-ins up against a compLexity team who was looking very solid, and they just outlast them. They're like, we have Death Prophet, we have a good hero, all we need to do is get level 3 ultimate and just win the fight. Obviously, it was a bit more in-depth than that, but it was an impressive feat nonetheless. So they'll go up 1-0, and we still have 2 more games to go, Greg.
Yeah, and those popping over to the schedule are going to be Sna twice in a row versus Union and K-Stars, or South American Rejects. And again, you guys are watching the Dota 2 Canada Cup on twitch.tv/Dota 2 Canada Cup, brought to you by High Ground TV. And we've got mod packs again on stats all afternoon from the Standard Deviants. Check them out at St. Dev's Stats. And thank you guys for watching. Be coming up very soon for the next game of the night, Sna versus Union Gaming. We'll see you.